You're joking, right?
All right, we'll start. All right.
Well, I'm trying to be hopeful. I'm trying to be optimistic about that.
Well, I guess you're too young to be a little pessimistic like me.
Give it a second for the to play in.
The fucking things I see out there, people
Okay.
are stupid.
Beautiful out. How you doing, Bronny Bo?
I'm good. Yeah, it is beautiful out, but I've been stuck behind this desk all day, all weekend, pretty much.
We're doing a remote because Bronny's busy studying for his last 2 exams in law school for this semester.
For this semester, yeah.
Right.
But then after
Wow,
the
I
semester,
look very orange. Don't I look very orange?
you're going for the Trump.
Okay.
Nice.
You shaved.
I just did, yeah. But
Oh, because Hannah's coming home.
yeah, also
Which one?
it's fun.
Are you
What?
trying to kill yourself?
No, I cut myself. Look at that. Hey, that's bad.
Oh,
It looks way worse now than it did before. Oh man,
I'm sorry. How'd you do that? With the razor?
with the razor, yeah. I don't know.
Oh, I'm sorry
Sometimes
to
when I
hear
let it go, my skin is so fucking sensitive. It's really annoying. Like if
So,
I
yeah.
shave too close, it gets all irritated, and then if I wait too long, it also gets irritated, and then I cut myself.
Well, you look much cleaner now.
The lighting is hard to tell, but I just trimmed it really. Yeah.
Yeah, you definitely have coarse hair, very thick hair, so you should not let it get too long.
I was going for the secluded
The
recluse.
look?
No,
The what?
the recluse look. Like, oh, I've been in the library for 2 weeks. You know,
All right.
finding the secrets to life or whatever.
How you doing, homie?
Good.
You gotta
Lot
be
going on.
pumped. It's coming back. What?
I said lot going on in the world this week.
Like what?
What you want? We're saying that I'm happy my fiance is coming back. Yes, I am.
So I drove up today. I was with Mom and Bubby, took her to breakfast, lunch, and Bubby didn't want to go back. So I drove up along A1A all the way up to Trump, and you can't even get in front of his place. The amount of cops and they have
Mar-a-Lago, you're saying?
Mar-a-Lago is
Yeah.
cement barricades, everything. Everything.
Yeah, I mean that makes sense. Like it should, because if he's living there, like the White House, you can't
I
go
agree.
near close at all.
No, I agree, but if you were a neighbor, you'd be pissed. But you can't, you got to go over the bridge the other way. But everywhere, I mean, it is a fucking fortress, but it should be. Listen.
Although I don't think he's there right now, is he? I think he's in France. I think.
Oh, for the cathedral?
Yeah, Notre Dame.
Yeah.
Which
All right,
they pussified Notre Dame too, by the way. Have you seen pictures of it?
No, what do you mean?
The old way before the fire, it was like dark and intense and like Gothic, right? Because it's a Gothic cathedral. That's like the style of it. And you walk I mean, I can show you pictures of like the comparisons, but it used to be like dark cement, like not cement, but it was like stone dark walls. And there was it was very moody and like romantic.
Show me the two. But maybe they brought up to date.
I know, but it shouldn't be up to date. It's an old, famous old cathedral. It's like now they made it's all white and open. And it's like, no, it's not a modern church. Build a new modern church, but keep the traditional classic.
But they don't do that. Listen, I mean, was Quasimodo there?
Yeah. Apparently Quasimodo is Jewish too. I was like listening.
Is there really Quasimodo?
Well, no, in the book, I'm saying. It was a book and then a show, I think. Hold on, or a movie, Disney movie.
I want to see the two differences.
Yeah, let me see if I can get them up. Notre Dame comparison. All right, well, I don't have like a specific, like the one I'm looking for, but here, I'll show you this.
You have to share screen?
No, I got it here. Can you see this?
Not yet.
Hold on, it says it's loading. Still says it's loading. Hold on, give it a sec. My Wi-Fi might not be that great. Okay, now you can
I
see.
see. That's the old one.
So this is old. Moody.
Can you expand it for me?
Expand it. It's as big as my screen is.
Oh, mine's not. Let me see if I can make this bigger. Nope. Okay, go ahead.
Moody, intense. You feel like, oh, God is
Syira. That's 100% the way it should be. Go ahead.
And you also, the whole point why they made these churches was you were supposed to, back in the day, walk into these and be like, wow, God is extremely powerful. I am in awe.
I get it.
Supposed to humble.
How did it burn again?
Now this is what it looks like.
I can't really see it.
If you can't see it, something's wrong on your end. Then can you expand?
No, I
Something?
could see it, just small. 1 minute. Yeah, I hear you. They made so
Look
the
at that.
stone.
It's like it's beautiful, but it's not Notre Dame.
Yeah,
I mean, it's just a different thing. It's not
100%.
it's not as awe-inspiring or intense.
No, the other one was Europe.
Yeah, so I mean that's just my 2 cents on that, but honestly not that important.
I agree. All right, so what's going on in the world, Bronny Bill?
Oh my God, a lot. Like a lot.
Like,
Well, we got to talk about Syria because all that shit happened like today.
what happened?
Oh, like insane. Like the start of
By
probably
the way,
World War III.
I'm watching still. I'm on like episode 3 of Madness. It's very good.
Oh yeah, I gotta watch it.
Go ahead.
So I guess we can get into Syria, but there was others like there was stuff from last week that but like the Hunter Biden pardon stuff happened right after our episode. We recorded it.
Yeah.
So like we never talked about that.
We can talk about anything you want. I'm all
So
yours.
let's give 2 cents on that because that's like old news at this point. But
Well, I mean, listen, you knew he was going to.
although he said many times that he wasn't.
He wouldn't. Right.
I mean, they lie, but also that's like a pretty bad, blatant lie.
Now, so Hunter's crime was a federal crime, not a state crime.
Well, the
tax
actual
was
crime that
federal.
he was convicted of was the like gun trafficking or something.
Right. And the federal tax thing, something with tax returns or whatever.
Well, I don't know. Yeah, that one I don't know if that he was. I think he might still be like that trial still might be going on or it hasn't happened yet. But he was like convicted of the gun one. So,
By the way,
vice versa.
as a father, you're coming out of office. You're gonna I would pardon my kid.
Well, so I have 2 things to say about it. One, I mean, I guess first, just he didn't just pardon him. If you read the pardon, it's not just for the crime that he was convicted of. It's for all crimes. It's a general pardon, which then leads me to believe like they know that once Trump comes in, the Ukraine, Burisma, all that sus shit that Hunter's been up to is going to come out. And so they're preemptively pardoning all crimes so that when this happens, they can be like, oh, it doesn't matter. He's pardoned.
But I wonder if you can do a pardon for all stuff that you don't even let if there is no allegations of a crime. Like you just,
Well, there are allegations of that crime.
But they never indicted him is what I'm getting at.
Yeah, but could you
I don't know.
if the crime happened, I don't think you can I would imagine like you can't pardon for future crimes that haven't happened. But this has happened.
That I know you cannot.
But this happened already. Like he did these things. It's just a matter of if it comes out or not.
But can you pardon somebody if they're not found guilty? Is what I'm trying. I just don't know what the law is. But see, I would make an argument that it only becomes ripe or an issue once you're guilty of the crime, not when there's speculation. You know,
yeah, let me get up I can find the actual like language of the pardon.
Yeah, but I'm sure there's so many different interpretations.
Here it says, today I signed this is direct from whitehouse.gov. Today I signed a pardon for my son, Hunter. From the day I took office, I said I would not interfere with the Justice Department's decision-making, and I kept my word as I have watched my son being selectively and unfairly prosecuted. Without aggravating factors, sorry, it's small, it's hard to see, without aggravating factors like use in a crime, multiple purchases, or buying a weapon as a straw purchaser, people are almost never brought to trial on felony charges solely for how they filed out a gun form. Those who were late paying their taxes because of serious addictions but paid them back subsequently with interest and penalties are typically given non-criminal resolutions. It is clear that Hunter was treated differently. The charges in his cases came about only after several of my political opponents in Congress instigated them to attack me and oppose my election. Then a carefully negotiated plea deal agreed to by the Justice Department unraveled in the courtroom. Blah, blah, blah. No reasonable person who looks at the facts for Hunter's case can reach any other conclusion than Hunter was singled out because he is my son, and that is wrong. There has been an effort to break Hunter, who has been 5.5 years sober, even in the face of unrelenting attacks and selective prosecution. In trying to break Hunter, they've tried to break me. Enough is enough. For my entire career, I followed.
Yeah, he wrote this.
Yeah. He does. He does. In this picture I have of it, he doesn't say what I was thinking of. Oh, that's a video of it. I saw where it was like he's pardoned for all crimes. but I can't find it now. Is this it? No. I mean, I think pardoning isn't, we talked about this on the podcast before, but I think pardoning is like the least American thing ever. The fact that that's a thing is so wrong.
It's funny, we never really heard about pardoning up till the past 4 years.
Obama, there was a thing that was going around the internet that showed presidential pardons. I mean, they've been going on, like fucking George Washington was pardoning people. Like it's been a thing since the first president, and every president has pardoned people. But Obama has like way more. Let me see if I can get that up. Amount of pardons. Obama's was like at least 5 times the amount of.
You gotta take care of your posse and your brothers, bro.
Yeah. So this is. I'll just start at Reagan. All right. Reagan had 406 pardons. H.W. Bush had 77 pardons. Bill Clinton had 459. W. Bush.
Who was the 459?
Clinton. W had 200. Obama had 1,927. Trump had 237. And then Biden has had 26, but that doesn't include the 6,500 that he pardoned for the possession of marijuana, because he like made that not a crime or like not federally punishable or something.
Wow.
I mean, Obama almost 2,000 pardons, and then Trump was 200.
Right. Crazy.
There should be no presidential pardon at all. It is so wrong. It is so not democratic.
Yeah, but I think that when Trump becomes president, he's going to have to pardon those Capitol Hill people, which I think is a good thing to do.
Why? Why is he going to have to? And why, two, is does that have anything to do with him?
Because there's a lot of people that are in jail that shouldn't be in jail.
Why shouldn't they be in jail?
You heard someone who told me someone that had a plane ticket that wasn't even there that got arrested.
Oh, okay. So something like that, sure. But is that a pardon, or is that just the crime? Like, should the president pardon?
In jail. So whatever, call it whatever you want. He shouldn't be in jail.
Yeah, but I think that should be like held within the courts, rather than the president being like, "You supported me. You shouldn't be in jail anymore." Like, I feel like that's if Biden came in and like pardoned a bunch of, or like let's say Kamala came in and pardoned a bunch of BLM rioters and was like, "You guys supported me. I want you out." I'd be like, "No, that's fucking wrong. Let the courts handle that, or the individual jurisdictions that the people vote in what the laws, criminal laws in their jurisdiction should be, and then let the courts."
Spoken like a law student. I'm proud of you. No, listen, but you should.
No, but for real, it's like why should one man determine what's a crime and not? It's like people in their state.
By the way, I would pardon you, my son. You would never be in that situation. I'm not worried about it, but I would.
Yeah, I mean, like on the one hand, the reason why everyone's so upset about why Biden like is pardoning Hunter, and he said nobody's above the law. He kept saying that, throughout the whole campaign. No one's above the law. No one's above the law. And it's like, so your son is.
He's full of shit.
But then I do also understand, like, if I was in the position and my children or anyone I knew that what I was close to, like, had committed crimes and I believe that they shouldn't be in jail, and I was in the position to just wipe that clean, I would. Why? Who wouldn't?
My family. You got to take care of my family.
It's like, when are you going to be in that position ever again to be able to do that? Never.
Nope, you got to do it. So talk to me what's going on with Syria.
Oh my God. I mean, so much. Okay, so I guess we got to go back to like the history of it a little bit and walk through.
Yeah, because I don't know the history, so fill me in.
Okay, so Syria since like the 70s has been run by this family, the Assad king. Like they're, I guess, kings, but they're like dictators.
They're self-proclaimed kings.
Yeah, well, they ran the country, and it was like the Kingdom of Assad, but that's their family name. And they've run the country literally for over 50 years. In like 2011. Okay, so Assad.
I also want to talk to you about the Subway guy, too.
Subway guy?
Not Subway, the sandwich guy, the Marine who killed the black loser.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
His name, the guy got indicted for choking out.
Oh yeah, Daniel Perry or whatever his name was.
Perry or Pringle, whatever it is.
Yeah, yeah. And then we also have to talk about the United Healthcare CEO who got killed.
Terrible.
That's crazy shit too. Okay,
Terrible.
Syria is like pressing because it's happening. Literally happened last night. Um, so let's cover that. So I'll just walk through the history like very briefly. So the Assad family, specifically, like they're talking about the current king. His name's like Musef al Assad, whatever the fuck his name is. He's been the dictator for the last 20 years or so.
Okay.
He's like been notoriously bad to his people. You know, tale as old as time. Middle Eastern kingdom.
So Syria is like a bad country in that regard, right? It's
The
bad.
leaders, the leader in the country. I mean, I don't know if you remember this, but I remember being in high school and reading about like how the Syrian government was gassing their people, like sarin gas. Have you ever heard of sarin gas? That was like a huge deal because they were like gassing their people, and it was like the first time that anyone was using this type of gas. Like horrible things that the Assad regime has been doing
Okay.
to the Syrian people. The Assad regime isn't very Islamic. They're like Muslim, I guess, technically, but like they're not Islamic like Al Qaeda or ISIS or the Taliban. Like they're not like it's not fundamental. Over the last like 10, 15, 20 years, there have been I mean, I'm sure you probably like, you know, hear of Syria in the news a lot more than you hear of like I guess now you hear a lot about a lot of them, but Syria's been in the news a lot because it's been like a battleground for the greater world. So the Assad regime has been very buddy and backed by Iran, specifically Russia, and like China a little bit. But like Russia, like Putin and Assad are like boys.
Okay.
And then Iran has been just like backing Assad, I think because they're both Shiite. No, are they Sunni? I don't know what the difference is, but like, and then America, obviously, we're like, we don't like that. Also, a big thing is Syria and Israel share a border, right? So that's like a big deal, obviously.
Yeah. And they don't get along.
No. And so it's always been worrisome for America because we're like, there's this dictator in Syria who has a very strong control over the country, and he's backed by Russia and Iran. So it's like always was but this has been decades. Since like 2011, there have been rebel forces within the country, probably backed by America, I'm sure, and backed by Israel, that have been like trying and fighting. And so over the last 10 years, there's been like the Syrian civil war, but nothing has really ever come from it. There's never been any like actual ground.
Right.
But then last week, one of the like biggest of those rebel groups, there's like dozens of them too, which is also we'll get to because I think that's where it like gets really problematic. The biggest one, HGS, I think is what it's like some Muslim name or Arabic name. I mean, I don't know how to pronounce it. First of all, they started as an offshoot of Al Qaeda. So that's like where they come from, this group.
But against Syrian Assad government.
Yes, because they want to be in power themselves.
Okay. Oh, I see what you're saying.
They're an offshoot of Al Qaeda. But then since Al Qaeda has such bad like press, they kind of renamed themselves and they like kind of started working with America and Israel and the UK to be like, no, we're not fundamental. We're not like that.
Terrorist group. No question about it.
They're straight up a terrorist group. Yeah.
Okay, go ahead.
Last week, they had like a huge insurgency in some like faraway, Damascus is the capital. Okay. So like some faraway city, they like had a huge insurgency and took it over like out of nowhere. You know, for 10 years, there was just kind of a stalemate where fighting here and there back and forth, but nothing really that big. Last week, they like took over a city. So we were like, oh, this is interesting. Assad and his, military, I'm sure is just going to come in and like stop it. But then last night, like all of a sudden, out of nowhere, a bunch of these rebel groups started fighting throughout the country. And then HGS, which was like the biggest one, made it into Damascus and took over. And the Assad, the dictator, hopped on a jet and flew over to Russia. And so as of now, this happened literally last night. Like as of now, Assad is in Russia, is in Moscow. Like he's seeking asylum with Putin.
Fucked up world. All the money, like what a fucked up world and country and how people live. Imagine, but go ahead, keep going.
I mean, so now like the government that was under Assad, right? Like he was the king, the dictator, but there was a Congress underneath them. The prime minister made a video and he was like, we had like will work with the rebel groups to have a smooth transition of power. So like they've lost. Like the government it's like they declared defeat all immediately. They weren't like, we're gonna fight, we're gonna do this. It was like the prime minister of the country came on and it was like, we hope for a smooth transition of power. We hope that we can work with you guys. First, they're all going to be killed.
Just as bad as anti-Israel and anti-America and everything else.
The new guys.
Yeah.
So here's the issue. A lot of people are praising this.
Otherwise, if they're offshoots of Al-Qaeda, it's not that, you're talking bad stuff.
Yeah, but then also it's like the enemy of my enemy is my friend.
Yeah, but not they're both enemies, and they, I hear you.
Yeah, so I mean, it's so multifaceted. We won't know for a while, but like Assad was buddies with Iran, and Iran was like the real enemy of Israel.
How would Iran have got involved in this and helped with Assad stop this?
I mean, they were giving a lot of money over the years. Apparently, there were troops that were mobilized by Iran through Iraq that were coming up into the Syrian border that they share with Iraq. But this just happened so fast that I don't think there was much time to get like a real war going.
See the play and what this does.
Well, my word, on the surface, it's like initially, I guess this is good news because all of these people, like there were all these videos that were coming out today of all of these rebel groups have like the first thing that they were doing, because one of the biggest problems or the biggest complaints that the Syrian people had against the regime was that they were just like imprisoning everyone. Like there were children just put in jail, like 3-year-olds, women, children, just like completely put in jail. So the first thing that all these, the rebels did was open the prisons. Like they went into the prisons and just opened them. So there are videos of just like dozens of women crying, like walking out of jail cells because they're being freed. So it's like on the surface, at first you're like, this is great news. A dictator has fallen and the people are free, quote unquote. I'm using air quotes. The issue is like, what does this mean? Are Russia and Iran going to just let a very strategic power that they've held for the last 50 years that shares a border with Israel and, has been very anti-America, are they just going to let that fall when tensions are currently so high around Israel and with Russia and America and Ukraine? And it's like this.
What do you think?
I think that this is like going to be, they called in like a World War I started off as there were tensions between all the countries in Europe. Like Germany and the UK and France, all their kings had a lot of tension between each other. And then in this random country, not random, but in this, Serbia, there was one guy that was assassinated in Serbia, and that kicked off World War I. That caused this to happen, which caused this to happen, which caused this to happen, and then we were fully in World War I. And so they called it the Baltic Powder Keg because it was like tensions were running so high.
Power what?
The Baltic Powder Keg. It was like a bomb.
Okay.
In the Baltic. And so like once one person was shot, shit kicked off. I think this could be like a powder keg type situation where it's like tensions have been so high with all these people that it's like now that there's like, something real officially has like happened of one of the people, it was like the axis of evil. Putin, China, Iran, Syria, Lebanon, Gaza, they were all the bad guys. And one of their people has officially now fallen. It's like, they might be like, okay, shit, we're threatened.
Interesting.
I don't know.
Okay. So this is new news to me, but it definitely is big news and you got to follow it and keep me posted.
Yeah. And then also the worrying thing is like, it'd be one thing if there was just one fully unified front that was against the Assad regime, and now they've won, because then they could just assume power. right? Like in Afghanistan, it was the Taliban. They were all under one. The day we left, the Taliban was the government. There's not that. There's like 12 of them. There's all these different groups that all want power. They agreed to all fight together against the regime. But now that they've won,
the Game of Thrones.
yeah, they're not just going to be like, oh, yeah, you know what? We'll let you guys lead. Like, no, there's going to be so much internal fighting.
So but it's so sad, like these innocent families that just live there and these
Yeah,
wives.
it's terrible.
What the fuck? Who would ever want to fucking live there?
And then the other issue is like the Assad regime was terrible, terrible, terrible. But at least the people living under them knew like they were kind of just persecuted across the board. You know, no one was favored. It was just like everyone was treated shitty.
But it's such a shitty fucking life.
But now at least the thing that all of the like people who are, not all of them, because there's like a democratic one, but the majority of the rebels, the thing that unifies them is they're like Islamic fundamentalists. Like they're ISIS-ish, Al-Qaeda-ish.
That are against it.
Yeah, so it's like the problem is now these people might come in and be like, oh, Syria, we are now an Islamic fundamentalist place. And Syria has a lot of Christian people. They have a lot of like secular people. You know, these rebel groups might come in and be like, oh, we're now Islamic. The Islamic people, we're good. All of you now need to wear burqas. All of you now need to follow Sharia law. Christians, we're going to start killing you only. It's like, not at least, but under Assad, everyone was treated shitty, you know?
Isn't it amazing, though, that it's 2025 and how fucking ignorant and archaic and barbaric and cruel, like, what the fuck? You know what I'm saying? All of religion and power and control, and I think they use religion as a fucking shield to hide behind. It's such a crock of shit. It's shocking in today's day and age how things have progressed so to become more inclusive and people. It just you deal with these fucking Middle Eastern countries. They're fucking evil, Bronson.
Yeah, I mean, when I think there's not a single country in the Middle East where because this has happened many times before. Well, not to this extent. It's a bit different with this one, but it's happened many times before where there's been a Middle Eastern country that's been ruled by a very strong, very evil dictator, Saddam Hussein, Gaddafi.
Yeah.
It's happened many times. And then they leave and what comes in is way worse than what was there before.
But either
Saddam
way,
Hussein was terrible. But then Al-Qaeda came in and they're way worse. And it's like now we've been for the last 20 years fighting them. And then ISIS and then the Taliban. It's like these are way worse than
Listen, they're all fucking roaches. They're fucking roaches.
No, don't say that.
No, these terrorists that do this, they're all fucking roaches. They're fucking. It's so terrible, Bronson. It's terrible. I don't even comprehend how the brain even works that way. I don't understand it. But they're taught
but I do understand if you're in a position, if we were living in Syria under Assad rule, I really do think like we would be like, no, we need to fight for our country. We need to kill these people. Who are they that they think like they can, you know, if you were living and all of your children, all three of us were just put in jail and we were in jail forever, would you just be like, oh, these are, would you be like, I need to fight?
That party,
but then you would be a terrorist. You would be a terrorist.
No, but I'm saying, but to rule the civilization of your people in the country, to be evil back to them, just so you know.
Oh well, that's power corrupting. I think
that's what I'm talking about. I understand. Listen, if you think of a bad government now, even in America, so we have somewhat civilization. We have certain things. It's not just about brute strength and force. And these other, countries are like no,
but it's not that. It's that they don't, in these countries, especially the Middle East, they don't have systems in place, like legitimate systems in place that work. So the only, like in America, if something's going wrong and we don't like it, like we're like, we got to go, we didn't like the way the country was going over the last 4 years. So we're like, everyone needs to go to the voting booth because if we vote, it'll change it. It works. They don't have those systems. So it's like, it drives them to violence.
I understand that component.
It's not barbaric. It's a reality of their situation.
I'm talking about not the overthrowing the government in a different belief. I'm talking about their own people. Like, imagine if I was in office and like, fucking kill everybody that doesn't believe in my beliefs, or like throw fucking women, and women got to do it's so crazy and archaic and ignorant, and fucking evil. I just don't even comprehend that. Do you know what I'm trying to say? That's
definitely. That's yes.
Like, sorry, if they came in and said, we don't like this, we need to take over for the greater good of our country and the people, but they're not. It's all about fucking.
So they might. The thing is, HGS, which is like the biggest one. No. It's I mean, I can tell you what the name is. It's HTS. Was I calling it wrong? HTS. It stands for. Cool. Can't find it. It's like a Arabic name. It's like if we had, a name that was like the Freedom Forward Party, and we were calling us the FFPs, like that. It's just something like that.
All right, so it'll be interesting to see what goes on. I don't. Everything in this world is so fractured. Maybe Trump could help bring this shit together and bring some normalcy to the world.
Yeah, I mean, this one's worrisome because they share a border with Israel. Iran was only able to access Lebanon, which they were supporting Hezbollah in Lebanon through Syria, right? So if these new people come in, block that.
It's positive for us then.
On the surface, it's a positive. As of right now, it's like this could be very good for Israel and also America because the bad guys, quote unquote, have lost a big power and strategically placed power too with Israel. What's worrisome is the reaction to that, right? Are they just going to let that happen? Is America just going to right? Let's say these HTS people come in and they start as of the last couple of years, they've been buddying up to America because the enemy of my enemy is my friend. Now that they have power, they might turn away and be like, no, fuck you, America, fuck you, Iran, we're doing our own thing. America's not just going to let that happen. Iran's just not going to let that happen. It's like, this could really, I feel like what worries me is the reactions to this. And we won't know until it happens, But
Claire, we have Trump there, though, to deal with it.
We don't for another month. This shit is kicking off right now. That's worrying too.
Fine. The month will fly by. We're going to be fine.
I know, but for the past, it was since 2011. So what's that? The past 13 years, this Syrian situation has just kind of been a stalemate thing. 13 years. And then within 1 week, it was like a 55-year dynasty toppled, within one night. So it's like this shit's moving so fast.
Yeah, but I still think we're okay because there is light at the end of the tunnel with Trump, and the month will go by very quickly. Look, we are where we are, so we'll just do the best we can.
Yeah.
Biden's nowhere to be found. Fucking Kamala is a waste. So it'll be interesting.
Yeah, and just to the point of how you were saying, all these people, when they have power and they subjugate their own people, it really does happen. It's just interesting. I think that is just part of human nature. I think it's in all of us, honestly.
I don't know, bro.
It happens every time.
I know it does.
Comes into power as a rebel.
It's crazy that people don't take care of their people. I know this is very common, but it's whatever, I mean,
it's not even common. I think that's the norm, and it's abnormal for an American situation where we overthrew the king, the British government back in the day to start our new country. And we kept it pretty civilized. That pretty much every other country that has a revolution and a new government comes in, it's absolute madness. and
Well,
people are just getting killed left and right.
That's why America's the greatest. That's why we prosper. And I still think you have to take care of people, even if you're on, people need to take care of people, period. You have to. So I believe.
Think, yeah. I mean, I think part of it, why it like happens so frequently, is that there's like a retribution and revenge aspect to it. If you and your people, right, like if we felt
suppressed or whatever,
that those people have been suppressing us and treating us like absolute garbage for decades, then now that we're in the position of power, of course we're going to do a little bit back to them, and then a little bit goes, and it.
There's a unique component, but there's also a part where you've got to have, there is an ignorance component. There is the teaching of the hatred and the anger rather than compassion, and it's
I think if like post World War II, if you were liberated from the camps, like let's say ourselves, if we were liberated from the camps, would you just be able to be like, I don't know if you would just be able to be like, okay, yeah, we're just going to treat the Germans as our own, or would you be like, they need to fucking pay?
There's a difference. You could still be angry, but there's a difference of.
You wouldn't think that they need to pay. Like you wouldn't be like, I want to punch these Nazis. I want to beat them up now that I'm in power. Throw them in jail.
The Nazis, yes, but not the German people is a difference.
I know, but I think that it's a slippery slope. Like,
I'm just saying.
We would say the Nazis, and then I think it would slip to the Germans who supported the Nazis, and then it would.
I understand. We also know that our way works better. The American Western way.
I just think it's hard to stay in that. It's really, really hard.
I'm just saying, but we are also at a point, Bronson, where it is going to be 2025 in a couple of weeks. It's not like 1940. There's a lot more education. You have the internet at your fingertips. There's more people intermingling of all different races and religions and beliefs and views and ideologies living under the same roof. It's a little bit different.
But that's also caused all these problems in the world.
I don't know if it necessarily has caused all these problems in the world as much as it is. I think.
But we see the world in the last 3 to 5 years. The whole world has turned away from that. Each country is saying, no, we want to be more isolationist. We don't want to be as connected with the world. Italy.
I don't think that's isolationist. I think you have these bad Middle Eastern or these communistic countries that want to take over, that want to take America down to America stands for. That's what you say.
No, but it's not in America, but like it's happening all over the world. The UK was part of the EU for 40 years, and they said, we don't want to be part of this anymore. We want to focus on ourselves. Italy tried the same thing, right? Italy put in their Meloni, their prime minister, on the whole point of Italians first. Trump ran on America first.
And that's not what I'm talking about. You're missing my point. I'm talking about that I understand to say, okay, we might want to be independent, but I think that but Israel or America or Italy, their ideology is not saying anyone who doesn't agree with us, we are going to either annihilate or we want to harm, we want to do this. I think there's a lot of the communistic and or Middle Eastern terrorist type of fucking countries. If they're saying, if you don't believe the way we believe, whether you're in the UK, what happened in France, taking over France, the Islamic movement, or America, Israel, if you don't believe in what we want, then you're dead to me, and we'll do whatever we can to that. To me is the part.
You 2 episodes ago, 3 episodes ago, whenever it was, you said, if you don't like American values, get the fuck out. We don't want you here.
You're missing. But I'm
Syria,
not saying
the Syrians aren't. The Assad and the Syrian regime, they haven't been going into other countries. They've just been saying, in Syria, we are going to run it how we want. And if you don't like it, you're going to jail.
You got to listen for a minute. You understand it's a huge concept of difference, okay? I'm saying I'm going to harm them, kill them. No, I think there's nothing wrong with people have different fucking views. I'm saying that if Syria wants to run it the way Syria wants to run it, that's great, but don't harm your fucking people. You could say you might not have freedoms, like you have to wear a burqa, what's it called? Okay. Or women can't vote or whatever. And that part sucks. And maybe they haven't evolved the way it is. But don't harm them. Or don't harm someone because they don't have your Islamic view. Or don't harm somebody because they're Jews. I'm just saying, I think that what I'm trying to say is conceptually in 2025, in 3 weeks from now, or 2 weeks, it's fucked up considering how many people live together and assimilate together, and the internet and the education and what's out there. It's these are evil people. You can have different views, but you can't harm somebody because you have a different view. And when you start fucking harming or killing people or coming into Paris or England and saying, we're going to take over, or death to the Jews, or this or that, whatever, that's fucked up shit. I have zero tolerance for that. Italy's saying we want to take care of everyone first. There's nothing, I agree with that. There's nothing wrong with it. They're allowed to. Just like I'm going to take care of my family first. I'm going to take care of my neighborhood first. Those are normal things. I believe take care of our vets over giving millions or billions or whatever to fucking Africa, what Biden did. Give it to our fucking homeless and our own American vets. Don't give it to fucking Africa. We know why he did it.
What about Israel?
What?
What about Israel?
What about Israel?
Giving billions to Israel over our vets.
Israel is an ally. China's coming into Africa. This was Biden's way to get the fucking money in there quickly. I don't know what corruption he has with fucking China. Okay.
Or what is it? China's pumping in billions of dollars into Africa to try to buy up those mines, build roads.
They own it.
Yeah, but then why wouldn't we try to also do it to combat their? Otherwise, if we don't do anything,
listen. All of a sudden, 2 weeks left, 3 weeks left in office. Biden all of a sudden is going to give $1 billion, whatever it is. The fucking you understand what I'm saying? I don't need you to debate everything to opposite what I'm saying. You understand that it is not out of his goodness saying this is what America thinks is best.
Well, I don't know. I don't actually know what you're talking about with this Africa stuff.
He gave I'm not sure if it's $1 billion or it's so many millions of dollars to Africa like a week ago.
Well, what do you mean? Like where in Africa? What do you mean?
I don't know what it was for. I don't know.
Let me look it up because that's like saying he gave money to Asia. It's like it depends. There a lot of places in Africa are our allies. Let me see. Biden, Africa, money. I don't know. I haven't heard of this. $600 million in new funding, building a railway in Africa to transport critical minerals to the Atlantic for trade to the U.S. That's what it's for.
Listen,
from Bloomberg.
It's the same thing. He's got 2-3 weeks left in office, and it's done now. Look, I don't want to get into the whole Biden thing. I'm just saying, Tim, my point is take care of our own first. Do what we need to do. Take care of our allies, okay? And this whole harm, which I've always said the same thing, and I stand by it. No one has a right to harm anybody for fucking different views or beliefs, period. And that's what these countries, they harm their own fucking people. There are people that don't agree. No one has that fucking right. No one, period.
Yeah, I agree with you on the idea, and I don't, we don't need to debate it, but I just think it's, sure, no one disagrees with that idea. But
yes, do.
No, because
that's what they're doing. They disagree.
But they're doing it. They're doing it when multiple other steps have happened. They're doing it. They're harming people in their country that they're saying they're the enemy. They're going after our way of life. It would be a lot of it is also evil.
You know what I'm saying? These are
but in America, if there was a militia of communists that were rising up and literally with guns trying to, they're Americans. These are American people, literally with guns trying to take over Dallas, to be Dallas is going to be a communist. We're going to start there and then build out. I think we would support the U.S. government going in and attacking those people and harming them because they're against our way of life.
You understand what I'm saying?
I know, but that's it gets so much muddier than just don't harm your people.
I'm making general statements from from an ideology conversation, right? So of course there's always layers to everything.
But would you support what I said? Would you support the U.S. government going in and rounding up Americans who are trying to take over Dallas, Texas with guns because they want to make Texas a communist state?
I think those people want to harm people in our country.
Right. If they're saying we want to take over the government for communism because we fuck America and fuck how it is, and we want to make America how it
should be arrested.
And if they're shooting at the military, should they be shot back at? Yeah, okay, so that's harming Americans.
No, Bronson. Okay, here we go again.
No, I know, but that's the reality of what ends up happening.
There's a difference between you said they're throwing little kids in fucking jail and the women in jail.
Of course.
I'm talking about when you have certain Western capitalistic, non-communistic, call it chauvinistic and certain freedoms, whether it's in Italy, France, America, the UK, they work because people are protected to be able to walk and feel, whether you're a man, woman, gay, generally speaking, black, white, child, whatever it is, there's a certain thing. It's my country that I feel safe, whatever. As opposed to, you don't agree with me, you're in jail, so is your kid. Like, so what the Nazis did. That's what I'm talking about. So I'm not talking about little fact specific, what I'm talking, general terms.
And I agree with you generally.
Harm anybody is what I'm trying to get at. If somebody's going to harm me, I'll kill them. But I don't have the right to harm anybody just because they don't agree with me. That's what I'm saying.
I agree with you generally. Yeah. But yeah, I think the Syria thing is going to, I don't know. I do think that this could be like a really big deal. And
all these fucking Middle Eastern countries need to take over these fucking anti-Western civilization, these fucking Jew-hating countries, these fucking countries that want to have one world order. They need to be taken over by a fucking America and become part of America.
Okay, so
it's a lot. I'm just
no. Well, I'm just going to say that's been tried many times. Iraq, Afghanistan, Kuwait.
I don't want these people being American citizens. They're so fucking dumb. They're so fucking disgusting. I don't want these fucking people part of our citizenship. They're going to promote more.
Who do you mean? All Syrians, or do you mean the people in charge? Who do you mean?
All these fucking people that are evil. Evil.
What is that like?
I don't know.
But then what about all this people that were like? I don't think the majority of people that were in Iraq when we were in Iraq were evil.
I agree with you on that.
Okay, but what you said, like, it's been tried. It actually has literally been tried. We tried it in Iraq. We tried it in Afghanistan. We tried it in Kuwait. Every single time that America has gone into a Middle Eastern country with the intention of trying to make it better, not only have we made it worse within the country, but we've also ended up killing hundreds of thousands of Americans and spending trillions of dollars in the process.
Because I don't think we need to waste our time and resources with these fucking.
Well, it's not a waste of. I think.
Okay, wrong choice of words. You know.
No, but I think it's like. If I just think as Americans, we think of ourselves as like entitled to be able to do that. Like we don't think of that as bad. Right when America went into Iraq to try to put in a new government, we didn't think of that as bad. We thought of it as good because we were doing it. But if someone did that to us, if Chinese troops landed on American soil, thousands, millions of them, started building bases all throughout America with the intention of being like, we want to change your government, we would be like, we would not think that was good. We would be like, this is so. I mean, that was the whole thing with Russia and Ukraine. We were like, Ukraine is its own country. How can Russia come in? But that's what we have done many times. And that's what you just said we should be doing. Dad's battery died on his computer, so he had to go get it. But let's wrap up Syria.
Sorry, no problem, because I know you have a lot of other stuff.
Well, I want to just briefly, and then we'll finish off. I just want to talk about the assassination. But maybe assassination.
I want to talk about that briefly, and I want to talk about the other aspect with the guy from Subway.
Okay, so go with that one first, because I don't have much to say about the Subway thing.
All right, so everyone, it's interesting. So if you Google his name, you'll see that they dropped the manslaughter charge, and everyone thinks that's like a positive thing. But here's what I believe it to be. What happened was, I don't know if you're able to Google it and look it up.
I was just going to say, to give like the briefs, like this was the guy who strangled someone on the subway, he's a white guy. He strangled a black guy on the subway because he was like trying to attack a woman or something, right?
Well, it was even more attack. He's been arrested numerous times. He was saying he's going to kill somebody today. Everyone called, was dialing 911 saying they fear for their lives. And this guy who was an ex-Marine, because everyone did fear for their lives. And he said 100% somebody is dying today. As he said that, and it's all on video. And everybody that was there has testified that they did fear for their lives. And so he put him in a rear naked chokehold, and the guy died. I guess he held it too long. So, of course, if this was in Florida, he never would have been indicted. Of course, it's in fucked up in liberal New York. He got indicted. So there was like this manslaughter count and there's these other lesser counts. And the manslaughter count carried a minimum, like, I think 14 or 15 years. So because there was on Friday, they couldn't get a unanimous on the manslaughter count. They dismissed the jury instructions for the one cause. Again, I don't do criminal work, I do civil. So let's say count or cause of action or charge, I guess charge for manslaughter. So everyone's reading, even the conservatives do the exact same thing. They only look at the fucking headlines like you talk about. Nobody goes deep in the headlines. So what happened was they dropped that. So the prosecutor said to give instructions for the judge to tell the jurors that we're dismissing or dropping that one charge. So people think that's like a good thing. I don't necessarily read it as a good thing, because what happens is they did that purposely because they can't get to the second charge without unanimously agreeing he's guilty of manslaughter or not guilty of manslaughter.
Yeah.
So it's a way to get him on a lesser crime, which would still be a crime. So they're still deliberating. They've been deliberating for quite some time. So the judge on Friday sent them home. Obviously, they're going to come back Monday and further deliberate. But I'm saying it's very interesting. If you read the heading of it, it looks like he's been dismissed. It's because I was talking to people over the weekend and on Friday, and they're like, it's great. The charges got dropped. It's been dismissed against them. And as I'm reading further, being a lawyer, whatever, it's not actually true. It's just that
I see
one
what you mean.
charge. It's very interesting. So we'll just have to see how it goes on Monday, see if they deliberate on it, and hopefully they acquit him. I really think they should fucking acquit him.
I mean, I always, like, when this story first came up, and then I even saw all this stuff recently because it's just been happening. I ignore it because honestly, I find this whole case annoying, because if it wasn't white, black, no one would give a shit at all. You wouldn't. But like, everyone's pretending but everyone's caring about, the left is caring about it because it's a white man killing a black man. And the right is caring about it because people are saying, oh, it doesn't have anything to do with the race. But it's like,
but it was a black guy that was a Marine that the exact same thing. I'd be like, this is fucked up.
I don't think you would care about it at all. I don't think anyone would care about it.
Okay. If this was in the news and it was a black guy who,
I don't think it would get to the news. That's what I'm saying.
But I'm just saying, to me, everybody watches this. It's just because it's fucking New York liberal. And I agree the white thing is a problem, but it's fucked up. This poor guy, everybody should do what he did and get involved rather than watching. Now people are going to be more afraid to get involved when there's innocent victims.
He might not go to jail.
I pray he doesn't. I really do. I really hope so. All right, you want to talk about something else?
Another New York crazy thing. The CEO of
United Healthcare, I think.
Yeah, which is the largest healthcare company in America and the 9th in the world. So it's a massive corporation. On Friday, I think it was Friday or Thursday, the CEO was about to walk into his hotel to get on like a earnings call, and he's like about to walk in the door, and a guy, have you seen the video?
I've seen the picture of the guy with the hoodie, but I haven't seen the actual video.
Yeah, I'll show it to you. The guy,
and they say he now is somewhere. He's not in New York anymore.
They have no idea. They have absolutely no idea.
That's not true. I watched. They have cameras of showing him getting on a bus, things like that. So, but it's fucked up. It's fucked up. Let me see the video.
Yeah, let's see.
Why are you doing that? I want to give a shout out to one of our loyal listeners. I want to give a shout out to Jen G. I'm not going to mention her last name. Jen, we appreciate you've been a loyal listener. I know you're friends with my wife, and so I just want to thank you for being a loyal listener and for always just supporting us. And we love our listeners, and thank you for everything. And we're hopefully we'll see you soon. So I just want to say thank you on behalf of Bronson and I.
Can you see this?
Yep.
Okay, so here, this is the CEO.
And oh my God.
He's over there. So he shot him 3 times, and then he walks up to him calmly, extremely calmly, finishes him off. Or I guess he checks if he's dead. And then he just walks across the street.
Yeah.
Look. He missed him the first time. He like nicked his back or something. Because see, look, he If you was shot in the chest or the head, he wouldn't have been able to move like that. So some people were. I watched some video from like these professional gun, like they're ex-Marines and now they're like professional gun trainers, and one of them was recently on Rogan, and like they travel all around the country. They're like the guys in the country for gun shooting. Did I freeze?
No, I'm listening to you. I'm waiting
Oh, okay.
for you to tell me.
And they, because a bunch of people were like, this guy's such an amateur. Did you see he had to keep cocking the gun? It kept getting jammed. But I don't remember exactly what these guys were saying about it, but they were like, no, this was like a professional. Like this guy knew exactly what he was doing. And the gun was a specific type of gun that he knew what he was doing. And then the bullets also, they found the bullets had written on them. It was like,
which is so weird. The casing.
So, yeah, people are saying
they have like denied or whatever. Like,
yeah.
Like a claim was denied. I mean, it's fucked up.
Yeah. So the theories are like either this was like a, corporate assassination, like something, within the.
I don't think that was.
But then a lot of people are like, this was a disgruntled person who was, fed up by the healthcare system and they had wronged him in some way, which like, that's not like that unbelievable. Because the healthcare system does wrong a lot of people. I get
it, but you don't have a right to. But you're fucked up. You don't have a right to fucking kill people.
Of course. But that's what a lot of people are saying, and then a lot of people are praising that. I've seen a lot of people online are viewing this guy as a hero.
Okay, that's some fucked. Okay, by the way, those are some fucked up people. Seriously, though, you don't think that's the scary part about the internet. You get these bunch of crazies that now have this chat room. They all can get together. They start fueling each other's. When I see that happen, I immediately get angry. I think the other guy should die. And the guy that was shot, I'm like, he has a fucking family, and who the fuck? And he's just walking mind his own fucking business. And someone took his life away.
I don't necessarily agree with this, but to play devil's advocate, and I do see like merit on the other side. I don't think you should kill someone for this. But you said that guy has a family. And this other guy has taken his life away. In the healthcare system in America, there's a lot of people who are denied claims for bullshit reasons that they had been paying into insurance, and they're denied on random shit that is very not true. And then their life is taken away.
Okay, but then you have a right to
literally.
Listen, you have a right to sue and do things. I hear you loud and clear. You don't have a right to take to take the person life. I'm sorry. Yeah. I don't.
I agree, of course.
Self-defense a different story. Okay, I don't think anyone's. If you don't like a fucking decision, whatever it is, I think so. But the difference, if we start doing that, is fucking gonna be chaos, and it's gonna be craziness, which is already happening. And the fact that people, you tell me on that they're getting in these chat rooms and supporting
the chat rooms. I just said a sentiment online.
Okay, my point is,
people's initial feeling is fuck the healthcare system.
Okay. My generation to call in a chat room, wrong choice. I apologize. The point is, whether in a chat room or doing it over Telegram, Instagram, SOS, whatever it is, it's fucked up that people are communicating and have a forum to fuel the fire and get more fucking schizophrenic, sociopath fucking retards to jump on this bandwagon.
I think you're painting them in a lot crazier. I think
it starts this way. Bronson, a prosecutor who, let's assume, put somebody in jail for committing a crime, does that give a right for the brother to go kill a prosecutor?
No, I agree that there's laws for a reason. And I agree with everything you're saying, but I do see merits on like being frustrated with the healthcare system. You should never take your own hand.
There is no merit to killing somebody.
But then there's also like, you said you could sue someone, you can change the laws. It's like, to be like the healthcare system or the healthcare industry, insurance, let's just say insurance industry is like the kind of the one industry besides the defense industry that like truly has the government on lockdown. True. Like even you're like this insurance shit. No one is insane. No one votes for it. It keeps going higher and higher. The people keep getting screwed in the insurance companies. And it's like, because they have government in their pockets.
Yes, it is corrupt. It's very corrupt.
So like, to some people, there might be like no recourse. You said you could sue them. It's like a lot of people can't just sue United Healthcare for denying their claim. They just can't do that. doesn't mean you should kill the person.
Okay, I understand frustration, the biggest frustration, right and wrong, but doesn't give you the right to take a life away. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
otherwise,
I agree.
Otherwise, we live in chaos.
Yeah.
I sound like you.
No, I agree. But then also in the last, like, since this happened, like 4 or 5 days ago, whatever, I've seen all these things. I've seen all these things online of people who, like, reporters who are like, I've been talking to people who work at these at Aetna, Blue Cross, and they're like, no claims are being denied, top down. They're like being told, like, because
well, maybe he's a vigilante for the people. Who knows?
Right. So it's like, I mean,
still wrong.
It's not, of course. But the fact that now it's like there has actually been change. These healthcare companies are like a little bit scared because I don't know. It's just interesting.
Listen, I agree, Bronny. I think these insurance companies are way too big monopoly and way too corrupt. I agree with that. I think it's absurd beyond belief. I agree with that. I bitch about it all the time. But I don't want to go with like socialistic where it's like, you know, the pros and cons. I guess you can ignore about anything, but like this healthcare system, let's say Canada and things like that. But I mean, it's just fucking crazy walking down the street and someone's using the back of the fucking head. Like, what the fuck? That person does that. That's a lunatic walking on our streets that has no remorse, no ability for nothing. That's a cold-blooded fucking killer.
I think all of us could be that guy. We could find ourselves in that position.
But you understand what I'm saying? I talking about hypotheticals. I'm talking about right now.
No, I know, but I don't view, and this might just be wrong. I mean, we don't know this guy's motivations at all. But if his motivation,
and he's young. He's not even old. He's young. He looks like he's in his 20s.
If that, yeah, 20s, 30s, I think. Yeah. It's interesting. I don't know. We'll see.
It's scary. It's just, and a guy that level, the CEO, how he's not walking with bodyguards, it's so scary.
Now they're all going to be, all of those big companies.
I would. It's crazy world.
Yeah, it is.
Crazy, Bron. I'm telling you, maybe because we didn't have the internet, I don't know, but it's a crazy world. When we were little kids, we used to walk to Howard Johnson's. We'd have no cell phones. My mom, after school, she went to see us for 4 hours. You ain't letting your fucking kids do that now. It's so crazy. There's just way too many people. No respect for people. No respect for adults. No respect for authority. No respect. It's fucking. People don't give a shit about anything but their fucking selves. And that's a problem. There's no more community. There's no more respect. There's no more hard work. There's no more earning it. Everybody wants the easy way out. They want everyone to be friends. Everyone is fucking insecure. It's some fucked up shit. It's got to stop. It has to stop.
Yeah.
At this rate, it's gonna be rampant if it keeps going at this rate. And you add, like we talked about last night, AI and everything else. Though it's crumbling from the inside out. And the ones to thank for it are the fucking people themselves doing it. They're killing themselves. Idiot. It's like it's the equivalent of the guy that smokes 3-pack cigarettes a day and it's 55 and wonders why he gets lung cancer. He killed himself. He did it to himself. And that's what we're doing. We are destroying. If we don't take care of our younger generation and act like fucking adults and take care and teach them responsibilities, it's terrible. Yeah. On that note, no, I'm just saying, you know me, I'm old school. I think the old school fashion and even religious values, I think they have to cut. Even though I'm not religious, I think these basic family, religious, moral values have to be taught and within the home. Families have to be together and communicate, eat dinner together.
People are just shittier nowadays, so they're not like teaching. People are just shittier nowadays, so they're not teaching those things. They're not passing them on.
Right, people. That's what I'm saying. We're saying, right? People are assholes, and they just get back down to family and quality over quantity, and what's important. Like, I mean, you see, Bron, what you see, and when we were at Art Basel yesterday, when you see the people, like the way they dress, like you're a clown. You are so caught. You want to create this false image of yourself, so people perceive you, and you look like a clown. Like all of it's meaningless if you don't have the family and the right values. And I just wish the community as a whole took care of each other rather than
I
taking
think
the
it's coming
camera
back.
and videotaping what the problem rather than getting involved with the problem.
I think a lot of people have like seen like the world for the last 20 years has been what you're saying. And I think a lot of people nowadays are like, you know what, that didn't work. We tried it, it didn't work. And I do like religion is up. In the last couple of years, like people are getting married younger than they were 10 years ago.
I hope you're right, Bronson. I hope
They
you're
are.
right.
It's changing.
I
mean, even just look at the swell for Trump was really just about like, you know, more traditional values. And it was like people who had never voted conservative were like, I have to vote conservative now.
Okay, Bronny, I hope you're right. I've always stood firm. You know, I've always been a little bit more in the far spectrum with the old-fashioned values and everyone having their roles. And some people don't like it. I don't give a fuck. But my point is, I believe in that. I think it's very family. Talk to your kids. Have your kid, you know, structure, consequences. No, yes. You know, don't be but drugs and alcohol, bad shit. Again, religion. If it teaches good moral basics and fucking A, man, we need to do something because it is a little depressing and discouraging to see. So that's why I have hope with Trump. I have hope with the vibe, at least in my little bubble that I see. I pray and hope that it gets better and things do swing back on the pendulum. So I'm fingers crossed what you're saying.
Yeah, I agree.
All right, Bonnie.
All right.
Love you, buddy.
Love you too.
Exam tomorrow or
No,
Tuesday?
Tuesday.
All right, kick ass. Do me a favor. Sail to Hannah. Drive carefully, picking her up. We miss her. And will we see you this weekend, hopefully?
I don't know.
Well, maybe we could try. We don't have plans, so maybe we could see you guys this weekend. We miss her. We miss you guys. We want to see you guys.
Okay.
All right, love you. Bye, everybody. Thanks for everything. Bye.
You're joking, right?
Well, I'm trying to be hopeful. I'm trying to be optimistic about that.
Well, I guess you're too young to be a little pessimistic like me. The fucking things I see out there, people are stupid.